Karl Malone was an NBA star. They used to call him the mailman because he always delivered. But that meant he always delivered what his team needed. But what if what's delivered is not what's needed, and what's needed isn't delivered? Then that's definitely not a star. Welcome back, and thank you for wanting to know the facts and the truth. What's going on in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is big. You can't miss it on the news. You can't miss it on college campuses, and you really can't miss it online. But what are the facts? Why is this happening? That's what we're here to answer. Our approach is to examine the major themes and focus on the important events that help you make sense of what's happening today. We care about knowing the truth. We also care about the basic human right to live in peace. We care about ending the suffering. We care about finding justice. And we think you're here because you do too. The only path for us then is to go after the facts and be open to what they show us. Life can be beautiful without hatred, violence, and war, and maybe the way there starts with better understanding each other. Better understanding the Jewish people, the Palestinian people, the history of their conflicts and past peace efforts, and some of the major issues standing in the way of forging real peace. What the Hell is Going On in Gaza is a 9-part series made up of 30 episodes, each designed to help you understand a different but important part of the picture. As part 2 of our series continues, our focus stays on answering some basic questions about Hamas. Here in episode 10, we'll examine what Hamas, as the governing authority of the Palestinian people in Gaza, has actually done for them. Let's get started. We'll start with a little background. In the 2006 Palestinian legislative elections, Hamas won 76 out of the 132 seats in the Palestinian parliament. That ended the 40-year stranglehold Fatah, the political party of the Palestinian Authority, held on Palestinian rule. In Gaza, there were huge celebrations and a lot of hope for a better future. For a short time after the 2006 elections, Hamas and Fatah shared power in Gaza. But Hamas was never really a political party. It has always been a militant Islamist group. In 2007, Hamas took full control of Gaza in a bloody coup against Fatah. The Los Angeles Times reported, quote, Hamas gunmen seized military control of the Gaza Strip on Thursday, executing Fatah rivals and provoking the collapse of their power-sharing Palestinian Authority government. Hamas has ruled Gaza ever since. After 17 years in undisputed power, it's fair to ask, what has Hamas delivered for the citizens of Gaza? War despite countless offers of peace? Poverty despite vast international aid? Indoctrination to hatred and death? Subjugation to Islamist authoritarian rule? Let's talk about each of these. War. There have been 5 significant military conflicts between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. These occurred in 2008, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2021, and 2023-24. Poverty. Sky News reported in October 2023 that according to UNCTAD, the economic wing of the United Nations, 1. Gross domestic product per capita, the broadest measure of living standards, was a whopping 46% below its 1994 levels. 2. What's particularly striking when you look through the data is the divergence between Gaza and the West Bank, the other main part of the Palestinian territories. 3. The 2 regions' economies had roughly similar GDP per capita up until around 2007, when Hamas seized control of the Gaza Strip. And regarding UNCTAD's unemployment data, Sky News wrote, quote, it's a similar story if you look at the unemployment rates in each of the regions. While they were relatively close up until 2007, albeit the Gaza jobless level was always a few percentage points above the West Bank level, in the post-Hamas period, the 2 lines have diverged dramatically. The Sky News article summarizes the situation, writing, quote, corruption is rife throughout the territory, with the upshot that much of what enters the country for the purpose of helping civilians is sometimes seized by Hamas leaders. It is a sorry story, And the upshot is that Gaza has been a failing economy for many years, with levels of deprivation and poverty which have mounted to world-leading levels. Indoctrination. Hamas indoctrinates Palestinian children from the time they are very young. They are taught lies, hatred, and to glorify martyrdom. Because this has gone on for so long, many of these children are now adults whose minds are poisoned. They have been indoctrinated into believing that it is their highest duty and aspiration to liberate the Holy Land from the evil, monstrous Jews or die trying. They are taught that their lives have no other meaning or purpose. As we'll cover more thoroughly in episode 28, Palestinian children learn these terrible things in UNRWA schools and summer camps, and on television through characters like Farfor the Mouse, among numerous other ways. Palestinian Media Watch tracks Palestinian children's education and programming. This is a small sample of indoctrination messages that Palestinian children are regularly exposed to. Quote, Hamas's abuse of kids in Gaza? If we die as martyrs. Quote, we're playing martyr, says young girl. The martyr is the beloved of Allah. A Palestinian father celebrates the death of his family as martyrs, hands out candy. Subjugation. Since seizing control in 2007, Hamas has treated Palestinians in Gaza with sheer brutality. According to a 2014 Amnesty International report, quote, Hamas forces carried out a brutal campaign of abductions, torture, and unlawful killings against Palestinians accused of collaborating with Israel and others. According to a Human Rights Watch report in 2009, quote, Hamas security forces or masked gunmen believed to be with Hamas extrajudicially executed 18 people, mainly those accused of collaborating with Israel. Masked gunmen also beat and maimed by shooting dozens of Hamas's political opponents, especially members and supporters of its main political rival, Fatah. Of particular concern is the widespread practice of maiming people by shooting them in the legs, which Hamas first used in June 2007 when it seized control inside Gaza from Fatah. Palestinian men who are suspected of collaborating with Israel, which might mean even just entertaining the idea that terrorism isn't the right path, are killed in the streets. In 2014, the Wall Street Journal reported that 6 such men were taken into an alley near the Great Omari Mosque in Gaza City after midday prayers and shot in the head one by one. Their bodies were sprayed with automatic rifle fire before being loaded into a government ambulance and driven away. Hamas has no regard for the lives of Palestinians. Hamas leaders are all too open about their willingness to martyr Palestinian women and children. In Ismail Haniyeh's words, women, children, elderly must die in Gaza to help our fight against Israel. Hamas prevents Palestinians in Gaza from relocating to safer areas and uses them as human shields. Hamas leaders use hospitals as their terrorist bases, endangering patients, doctors, aid workers, and so many everyday Palestinians. Hamas leaders divert international aid to fund terrorism, then hide their weapons in civilian buildings and locations. War, poverty, indoctrination, subjugation. Hamas abuses and sacrifices the Palestinians living in Gaza. Yet it is Israel that's always blamed for their plight. Hamas has delivered nothing but misery for the Palestinians in Gaza. Thank you for watching episode 10 in our series, What the Hell is Going On in Gaza? We hope you gained a better understanding of what Hamas has actually brought upon Palestinians in Gaza. If you'd like to leave a comment or get in touch, visit our website at www.getthefactsmiddleeast.com. There's still a lot more to learn in this series, so we hope you'll keep going. Episode 11 is next, where we'll question what can be done now. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your interest in learning more about the war in Gaza. And remember, where there is no knowledge, there can be no insight.